Welcome back to the conversation on Lagos Television. You already know how we do it on Fridays. We always let down, of course, put you in the right frame of mind for the weekend, and that's exactly what we intend to do this morning with Tomiwa Sage. Tomiwa is a comedian, MC, actor. Is a total package when it comes to entertainment, and we'll be chatting with Tomiwa this morning. Tomiwa, it's a pleasure to have you on the program this morning.
I like the way you were really nice. I thought you were going to go more. See me, they touch my beard.
You're feeling irie already.
I'm like, now me that they talk about.
Okay.
Good morning and nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Tomiwa, I did say that you're a comedian.
Yes.
You're an MC.
Yes.
You're a complete package of entertainment. Tell us about your journey into this industry.
I don't know if it's a journey. It's more, like most people, they say, oh, I came to Lagos No, I didn't come to Lagos. I was born in Lagos. But I mean, for every artist or every entertainer, something spurs you to get into that, right? And I think from high school, I would usually be the one to debate, and from there just got into the drama and arts club, and from there I went to the University of Ibadan where I studied theater arts. So everything just metamorphosed from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You studied theater arts.
Yes, I did.
And of course, today you are an entertainer.
Yes.
Let me just put it that way, because you do basically everything around the arts.
Yes.
But then you did say that, I mean, you started embracing arts from a very tender age. And so was it deliberate that you went to study theater arts?
Okay, yes, it was deliberate to study theater because, I mean, my dad always had like books around in the house, books everywhere, and he'll make me read to him, he had a couple of friends where they exchange books together from Robert Ludlum to everyone. So reading,
was part of your growing
what
up.
influenced and inspired me to say, okay, there are other forms of this literature or literary world to explore. So I went to UI. Yes, it wasn't because JAM didn't give me what I wanted or anything.
You wanted theater arts and you got theater arts.
So which of these aspects of entertainment do you cherish most? Is it acting or comedy or master of ceremony?
That's a very tricky question. Why do you have to do this? I can ask you the same thing, I can ask you the same thing.
You are the guest.
Oh my goodness. I think all of it, because, I mean, art is very, very, how do I say it now? It's very jealous, They try to pull you at one point or the other. There are times in my creative process where I feel like, you know what? I don't want to act this moment, this time, this is where I really want to do, and I'm creating and all of that. So, and I get to enjoy it. The only time I don't enjoy my work is when the creative process is not at ease, when I have to work in a tense environment. Other than that, if you call me for any, I'm excited to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're acting, do you love to choose your roles, or are you comfortable with the cast that you get given? Because again, sometimes you do not get to do an audition. A director or an executive producer may say, "Oh, I want Tomiwa in my production." So, are you comfortable with all roles that are tossed your way, or sometimes you get to say, "You know what? I don't want to be a stock character."
I don't. Funny enough for me, I don't think I've been in that situation where I feel stuck.
Okay.
Method, you might say, and it works because you get to be able to play different things. When you get called, I think the character calls you. If he doesn't call you, you don't feel like you want to do it. You just let it be. If he calls you, when you hear about the story, you might not even be the character. You may not like the character, but you may like the story.
Okay.
And you may like the archetype of what the character is doing in there. And you feel like, okay, let's see what it is, and that works for you, basically.
So which has been the most challenging role you've played?
Let me see. There's been quite a lot. There's one time in a stage play I had to play a monkey. I didn't even say anything. I didn't say anything in that whole stage play. And my director, for every day I was going to the zoo just to study how the monkey behaves. And that's challenging for me.
And that's stage.
Yes, that's
stage. And
Yes,
so,
that's
of course, and oftentimes you hear people
It's
say,
very gruesome, very, very gruesome, very challenging.
yeah.
I had to be there in the morning just to see how the monkey, and my note every day to the director had to be something new, you know, about the monkey. So imagine just studying the monkey. You can't even, and I'm not laughing, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm just supposed to be a monkey in my sound, but it has to be convincing because I wore all that.
The character, the
whole
costume.
character and all of that. It was so crazy because everybody kept asking, is that a monkey? Is that
is that really a monkey or is that a person? Okay,
yeah.
so that's a stage play. How about in film?
In film, had to be blood sisters, and people always think that, you know, people think for the role to be challenging, it must be because you're running from length to breadth. You know, I played a security guard that was unassuming. You know, but I remember shooting that particular scene for close to 5 hours with the late B. Bandele. It was so crazy because he wanted certain ways, certain things done in a particular way. It was very, very challenging for me.
Oh, wow.
So,
As simple as it was, you know.
which do you find more comfortable, acting on stage or acting for cameras?
I think they're both interesting. Did you say comfortable now?
Yes.
Comfortable. There's none that is comfortable. It's just the process. Again, I like to say the process help you arrive at your performance, right? So sometimes, and even as stage actors, and you know this because most times at your rehearsal, you've had the best performance that really touched you on the D-Day.
Right, the
You get me,
performance day.
right? So it's a process. Sometimes the first take is better than the one the camera then picks finally at the edit room because you're not even at the edit room.
Right.
You've done your performance and you've gone. You know, so it's not more comfortable, it's just more interesting. In the moment where you hear action or in the moment you leave the blinders to get on stage, you know, you don't know what you're going to make. But I think stage, because on stage, you don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
You don't have the element to control
Anything.
you know.
And
So,
you're at liberty to deliver your best.
Yes, you are at liberty to deliver your best. Again, once you get on stage and you see everybody, you may lose your lines, but you're the only one who knows what you're going through in that
Whether you're
moment.
sweating or you're
Whether you're
panting.
sweating or not. Like everybody here, every audience watching us can see 3 of us. They can't see the million of people behind here, right?
Right.
This is a live show. What I say now is what...
Yeah, what goes on?
Exactly.
So if you
so
say...
this is live for you, like live performance for me, right?
So,
Right.
Tomiwa,
That's
tell us
it.
about your content generation.
Yeah.
How do you generate your content for comedy? Is it through live experiences or you get some kind of inspiration that
Yeah.
is spiritual?
Yeah, you know, this morning on my way here, we're talking about kids. My friend who was in the car with me has had to babysit her twin sister's kids for about 1 week, you know. and even though she's been with these kids all through the time they were born, she's getting to realize now that being with them finally, solely, being in charge of them for 1
It's
week
a
is a whole
different-
different ball game, you know. And that conversation went up in my head, and I figured when I get home, I'm going to make a few notes.
Okay.
Because now that's a direction for content. You're talking now, I mean, my show is in another 2 weeks, and I realized this is, and I had the content for kids, but I just highlighted it.
Okay.
I had not grown it. So this conversation this morning helped me to realize how much you can have when you want to discuss kids. If I want to say
Right.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's a material by itself. You know, it's just the angle you're looking at. You know, how kids have a totally different mind from adults.
Right.
And how you must prepare yourself, how your patience gets, you know, tested multiple times in different ways every day for kids. Is it the barrage of questions? Mommy, why are you wearing green scarf?
And they don't care.
Mommy, why is it? And they'll keep asking you.
Yes.
If I say, Mommy's tired, they'll leave you for 5 minutes and come back.
And they'll come back.
Mommy.
I can resonate.
You know,
I know, sir.
so yes, that's where it comes from.
Right, still talking about comedy. In Nigeria, it's a tough call. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, he's not the originator of that comedy.
Okay.
That's my comedy. He has just rehashed it and then done it in another way. Do you also do you face that as a comedian?
No idea is original. First of all, you have your daily commutes that you come through to work and that you go back home to, right? And there are certain things that happen on that commute for you. Same with you, right? If I put three of you who live on the same axis together to talk about what you see on your way to work, it's most likely the same thing. What can be different is how you narrate your storytelling to me. If you were to talk to me as an interviewer, if I go and do Vox Pop, I'll hear almost the same thing. If I report it back, I'll report and say, the resident of Ajagbadi says Kiniko, Kiniko, Kiniko. From whether single story narration or from multiple stories.
Right.
But we want to arrive at a particular issue, a conflict, right? Which is in storytelling, as with comedy, what brings up the laughter, the conflict, the climax, or whatever, right?
Right.
As a comedian, we both face the same thing because we are from the same society, right? So we draw our
Inspiration,
idiosyncrasies
right,
from
okay.
there. The problem will be if I'm narrating just the same way you are
You have
narrating.
narrated, okay?
That's where I have, taken your property.
Right.
But you can look at the point of view, get your joke from me, get your punchline from me. I can look at the same point of view and get my own punchline from something else entirely, but it's the same story. Exactly.
Okay, so
Oh,
looking
now
at
they
it,
say I go squad view. Now they see I'm from the way they talk say, okay, this guy,
I beg you.
clap for me, clap for me.
looking at the comedy industry now, would you say that it is regulated or structured, or you can just wake up one day and start handling the microphone and be a comedian?
The art and culture space is we're in the informal sector. So it lets a lot of people express. It's an expressive industry. You cannot mortgage or gatekeep how people want to express. You wonder, when you're going home sometimes, you see people gather, you're wondering, Kilonwo, what are they looking at? And then you just see, oh, is somebody dressed in a particular way, just entertaining a bunch of people. Roadside, and there are people gathered watching. It's not a paid event. If that man were to be somewhere on a stage and he gets paid, that's now entertainment, right? On that road, somebody may appreciate him and drop something and all of that, right? And that's the difference. A surgeon cannot do that.
No.
Exactly. So I hope that answers the question.
So it's a free market.
It's a free market.
It's a free market.
Because it's expressive. You have a very funny auntie, a funny uncle, a funny cousin, right? The difference will be when you decide to charge for money. How
Who
much
will pay?
is that? Let them put it to test.
Oh, okay.
The moment they put it to test, then you will know.
Right.
Basically.
So again, let's talk about when you compare
Yes.
events, because you compare different events from wedding ceremonies and all of that. So, what differentiates your presentations? Would it be your audience? Would it be and also sometimes do you also come up with on the spot content when you go for events?
Oh, so the first thing that makes up an event MC is the ability to be able to be spontaneous. You have to be spontaneous because anything can happen. It's a call of the day. What helped me to differentiate what I'm doing is the theme. The theme, the theme of the event. There's a reason why people have gathered, right? Whether it's a 40th, whether it's a 60th, and these themes differs.
Right.
Okay, whether it's a group of doctors coming together to award themselves, or to talk about polio, or to talk about anything, right? Or a group of bankers. So the theme is the reason for the occasion.
Right.
And that is what, as a master of ceremony, you must key into, basically.
Sorry, Jibola, I'm glad you did mention what you've mentioned now. So what's the difference between a master of ceremony and a comedian?
A comedian is there basically to make people laugh. Part-time. Okay?
Part-time.
Part-time. Whether it's straight or whether in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or whether it's part-time. A master of ceremony, again, works with the theme of the occasion.
So you can combine both?
Oh, yes, I can combine both. It's just very poorly that a lot of people in Nigeria, a lot of comedians in Nigeria have to be MCs to be able to constantly get gigs.
Right.
Because not all events require the services of a stand-up comedian.
Right.
Okay, so if you're good enough, and I like to say this, I mean, I went to school, I studied theater. My ability to be able to drive home points, to be able to engage people throughout whether 5 hours, whether 6 hours, I like to think my theater background has helped me with that, right? Not a lot of comedian can MC events.
Right.
You know, they cannot keep up with the ability to stay with the theme.
Stay serious.
Not necessarily stay serious. They might stay serious. They might not just be able to stay with the theme
Of the event. Okay.
for that amount of hours. You know, so that's it.
So are there mentors for you in this industry? And when does one really know when you're serious?
Don't you feel the air of seriousness around me now?
So, no, and you know.
Wow. You don't cast it. You don't cast it. But I mean, you know, people have personalities.
Yeah.
I'm sure around you, your colleagues, you have somebody that you always say, oh, can serious in here. You're never, you say it to them, you know them. It's just personality traits, basically. And you get to manage them. Even in that air of playfulness, you get to know when, okay, this person is serious now. It may not just be for a long time. And then you have somebody say, you smile now, smile, everything is with you is too serious. It's the spice of life. You know, it's how we are. So, I mean, I get serious. And I don't think anybody will get into any space without having a mentor, whether in my business or as a lawyer. Somebody motivated somebody to want to do this. Whether you have personal relationships with them or whether you don't have personal relationships, you just admire them from afar. But I've been opportuned to have tutelage from certain people who I grew up to watch on the TV and now have the opportunity to have close access to.
You don't want to mention their names?
Oh, of course I will. My very first show was at the University of Ibadan as a student, and it was Facebook. I just messaged Lepashos Bosse, and I told Lepashos Bosse, I'm a great fan, I love your work, would you do me the honor of coming to my show? And boom, she responded. Boom, she was at my show, and since 2006 or 7, you know, she's mentored me. She's given me tutelage in terms of people, access, network, and all of that. So yes, I love you. I love you, Auntie B. Thank you very much. There's Laugh Up, there's ONG, there's Alibaba. You know, there are quite a number of people that I cannot, you know, mention all. I'm supposed to see Boss Ali after I leave here. So.
Okay, my producer wants me to ask you, do you have any relationship with Lafomania?
Lafomania.
I think that should be...
is it Iguare Solomon?
My producer, I don't know. If you can please send me-
Lafomania. Yes, I think.
Lepashos Bosse is part of that
Yes,
group. And
yes,
then...
that's why I said Solomon Iguare.
Oh, okay.
Right? I'd like for your producer to give you feedback.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
He
now.
said you're correct. Okay.
Oh my
all
God.
You're a
Oh,
brilliant
you're
guy.
good.
You're
Oh,
a
no.
brilliant
Do
guy.
you want some handkerchief? Oh, no, sorry about that.
Oh yes. So I used to. So Solomon Iguare.
He's late
graduated-
now.
Yes, he is. Unfortunately, he graduated from my department.
Okay.
I didn't even meet him, but he had a group called Lafomania,
Okay.
and yes, Lepashos was in it. Quite a number of my older colleagues were in
Right.
that group, and when I got into UI, I used to hear of it, you
Okay.
know, and good enough for me. He was a lecturer at, I think, Babcock or Covenant, and we had to do something and go there. He always writes. Whatever you see, quite a number of comedians, I think third, fourth generation comedians say, okay, whether even in their stand-up, and you were talking about rehearsing things,
Right.
and you see, it's crazy because in art, you pull up from residual knowledge of an
Of
experience of
others,
what you heard before. You may not just even know. There's nothing beautiful rasa once you cross certain age, you know. And Mr. Solomon of blessed memory had enough of those that were now put into skits, you know, that were now as a skit now said by other people. They even said that what you call fabu. You know,
yeah.
you know, so yes, Lafomania. I was never part of it,
But then,
I mean,
okay,
I
you
knew
knew
it.
about them.
And that's why it was very easy for me to
To
relate
remember.
Mr.
Oh, okay.
Solomon Iguare.
So, Tomiwa Sage
Oh,
Kukoi,
nice.
how did you come about Sage?
Oh my God. So when I was in high school, I went to St. Xavier High School, right? And I was influenced a lot by music, rap music. And just as a lot of people around my time then. And rap was really, really a very infectious influence among young people then. So I used to, you know, mess around with rapping in free hours, when you call it free time,
Okay.
you know, free period. And so sage, dictionary meaning for sage is a wise person, you know, wise man. Wise. So I used to just spill up a little bit of rap and here and there, and yeah.
So you picked that name yourself, or you
Oh,
saw
so I
someone?
picked it. I picked it.
And then
I saw sage.
it grew with you.
Yeah, so you agree. Used to be sage black.
So at what point did you throw the black away?
So sage black mean, you know, black man, sage, you know, the words
wise
of a
black man.
Exactly. You know, when I got into UI, sage, everybody sage black. Everybody knew me as sage black because I was still rapping then. And so I said, just whatever you want to do, use your name. Basically, your name is like your identity. And you have
Your
a friend name, it's
identity.
Tomiwa. That's okay, Tomiwa Sage. Ah, that's cute, Tomiwa. So it just became Tomiwa Sage.
So where were you raised in Lagos?
I was
And how much of
raised
the
in-
influence
Okay.
did that environment have on you?
I was raised in a barrack. I was raised in Guana State. My father is a retired military officer, naval officer. So I was raised in a barrack, and you know, the barrack don't know anybody. They don't know identity. Basically, they only know ranks. They don't care whether you are from this part of the country or anywhere, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Nobody cares really. They just care about rank. Whose child is that? Commander so. You know, rated so. That's it. So that environment made me understand the pan-Nigeria, okay, the Nigerianness of things, you know. Everybody will celebrate Salah, everybody will celebrate Christmas.
Right.
Who will be tied you to say, oh, we're not doing this because, nah, your family may get sanctioned for it. If they need the kids to come out during Christmas, everybody, from Mohammed to Josiah, everybody will come out and participate in that. If it's Salah, everybody needs to be there. You know, I watch Easter processions right in front of my block, and we all joined in. It was never a thing of, you know, discrimination.
So there was oneness.
Oh, oneness. You gotta have that oneness. Nobody cares, like I said. Nobody cares. Nobody really cares.
Right. So I'm just trying to look at the best way to carve this. Have
Carve
you
it,
dealt?
Mama. Go ahead,
Have
carve
you
it.
dealt with a difficult clients before?
Every other day. Are you joking me?
So, how do you resolve issues?
So
with-
if I were to go into a 9 to 5 now, I think I would do well in HR or human management because you deal with difficult clients every other day. People have, and not maybe difficult.
Okay.
Okay. So in some of the books that I have read, maybe you don't tag them as difficult. You just tag them as people with different opinions.
Okay.
Okay.
It's still the D word anyway.
Temperament and you know, yes, you just listen to people.
Okay.
People feel better when they know that you've listened to them. You listen to them even if you don't agree. Tell them okay, tell them they are valid, okay, walk around their concerns. But the moment that they see that you listen, let me tell you, between every argument, when you ask people, okay, what caused your fight? Kilo Fajayin, he was not listening to me. I was talking. He didn't let me talk. Sheba was talking to you. He didn't come here. You must listen to what I have to. Just listen to people. So my work has made me realize, just listen.
Okay.
When you listen, you solved 70% of
The problem.
Yeah.
Okay, virtually everything that we do now
Don't leave me. Wisdom.
is driven by technology.
Yeah.
How are you using technology to project your brand and, of course, reach a wider audience?
I'm a very, how do I say it? I'm one of those people that are very slow to change. You know, I would usually discard and say, what's this? Please, the way we, but I see them as marketing tools. So as I studied in theater, I studied communication and language arts. So you get to understand what works for you in terms of technology. You look at it, where do you think the bulk of your intended clients are on? Go where your clients are. Go where your customers are. Basically, that's what I do. I use it for visibility and access. Okay, people want to see, where do people get to see you work? Okay, so which of the platform best showcase your work? Go there, show your work, and buy.
Are there producers that you, irrespective of their personality or the kind of work they do, you love to work with time and time again?
I like to
in
work
Nollywood.
with Biodun Steven a lot. And this is not to answer your question about despite their I'm just saying, Biodun Stevens is an amazing, brilliant director.
Okay.
Okay, she lets you. I mean, I say it, and I don't know about any other person. There's no truism here, but the director is not there to teach you how to act.
True.
The director is there to guide
guide.
you on the process of your acting. And Biodun Stevens does that very well. I worked with, I was telling you, that little opportunity was the first time I was meeting B. Bandele one-on-one, even though I'd read his book and, you know. But and we took 5 hours. It was just a scene, but he didn't want to break it. He didn't want a break of, oh, this camera was one camera all through. He needed that camera to follow us and do what we, and it took 5 hours, and we didn't realize until it was morning, right, that we had been doing this for close to 5 hours. You know, in the break, it was tiring, but you key into what this man was trying to achieve. And everybody has different work patterns. Okay, the way everybody want to arrive at it is very different. Yeah, so some people may have that temperament, you know, may not let the actor be expressive enough and all of that, you know. But you get there at some point.
So besides Biodun, who else? Any other
Aside
person?
Biodun, let me see. There's Toyin, there's one other person. There's Asaf, Sheyi Asaf, who did Akonde, you know.
Oh, okay.
Asaf also lets you be, you know, and Asaf is crazy. Pardon me. He knows, he can't deny it. Asaf is the one director that doesn't believe it cannot happen. You know, if he has to jump on a tree to get it done, and then he says, how do you see it? Let me see what you want to do. If he sees it, then he can now say, okay, I like that. I wasn't thinking of that.
Okay.
So but I like it. Let's further explore it. And it opens a new frontier of what you can do in terms of expression. So I like Asaf.
You've done a couple of Yoruba movies as well?
Oh, yes. I used to. So I like Tope Adebayo also.
Oh.
Tope is a very calm director also. You know, he has a way of, you know, some people have daddy figures. And they're probably your age mate, right? But when they have to work, they just have this very
Calming effect
on
Okay.
you, and you surrender. It's a good thing when an actor can see it, because the actor is your daddy in that way. He's literally guiding you through. And some actors don't surrender. So when you see someone with that calming effect that disarms you, you just find yourself, you just surrender. You know, you just surrender. I like Tunde Laoye too. Tunde Laoye also has that. Akin Tijani also has that.
Okay.
Okay, so growing up in Lagos, what is that special thing that's anywhere you are, you can never forget about Lagos?
Adaptability. I'll tell you, adaptability. I was in Italy. I had a one-way card, right? And I missed my train. And it was the last train for the day. And I looked at it and said, what the hell? What are you going to do? It was my first night. My first night in Bergamo. And I just stood there saying, what am I going to do? Do you know what I talked to? The police. I walked up to the police. I said, excuse us.
Just click it.
Just landed. One way miss train. I fly back tomorrow. Stranded, nowhere to go. They gave me a ride.
Oh, wow.
Me, where I do that, I don't say they will give me a ride. I know, there's nobody else to talk to.
It was a James Bond move.
It was a Lagos move. I can't survive.
So where did they take you to?
They took me to my Airbnb.
Oh, wow.
They literally drove me there.
Chauffeur driven.
They drove me there. Say, oh, they were now speaking Tarekano. Say, let it that. No. You come, stay back. Baba want for me right. Or whatever Joko, you know. The morning I got to use that card back to there, because I wasn't even staying long. It was a connecting flight.
Okay.
You know, so I just needed to pass the night there, and I missed. And I was right at this station, but
Was
you
it
know,
because you
it's
didn't-
double.
Oh.
No, it's double.
That's
Sometimes
right.
you don't know
Okay.
where
Which one is
which is going or which is leaving.
Like all those England
or
Wahala.
which is leaving
the
your destination.
Right or the
Baba, I
left.
did the wrong this thing. So Lagos teaches you to be, you have to think on your feet. You got to think on your feet. And this has helped me everywhere I go in. I just realized, Omo, Oli, Dole,
Sharp.
sharp, think of a way, and I just on my feet.
So
My feet, Papa.
where do you see this industry in another 5 years as a comedian, an actor, a master of ceremony, an all-rounder generally? Because as you came in, you saw one of your
Colleague way.
colleague were here, and you know, so
Kids, it's colleague. We're just joking. It's colleague, please.
Oh no, okay. Just in case you thought we were already serious about being, so he's just corrected. It's colleague, we know, but then I just needed to also
Oh
flow in
my
his
God.
pattern of colleague way. All right. So where do you see this industry in the next 5 years, and where do you see yourself really as an actor? Not actor as in the one that acts, so as an actor in the entertainment industry here. Is this all free industry one that keeps growing, keeps expanding, and keeps giving opportunities to people who are willing to take all of the opportunities inherent in this industry?
I like, and I think you use this big word because you know that I can also.
You
use
know
them.
those big words now. Shebi,
Because
it's you
we're
that
just
went to
doing
tell
inherent.
Italian
This
police.
one- you see this woman? She just went ahead. What made you think I know the meaning of inherent? To answer your question, this industry is the biggest, fast-moving industry in the world, I would say. You never can tell where the entertainment sector will be in another month in terms of players, in terms of dynamics, in terms of what will hold sway. Do you get? Few years ago, it was something else entirely. We never thought skit makers would be here, right? But now you have skit makers. You never can tell what else will come in the next 5 years. Not just even skit makers, trends in terms of music also. They say you want your song to be popular, go on a particular platform. The moment challenge can come in. So it's not about whether your song is interesting anymore. It's who is doing this for your song, whether daddy and mommy. You get me? This whole trend in entertainment had some people pouring water on their head because a song, or was it alcohol? I can't even remember, right? You had people doing makeup so you cannot tell. And it boils down to what Malcolm Gladwell says. The behavior of human is constantly evolving.
Right.
Anything art, entertainment moves basically from behavioral pattern, right?
Okay.
Psychological, sociological. So it's not us. We mirror. So we're basically just following where humans are going to. So whatever humans do, we'll twitch it and milk out art and entertainment from
Out of it.
Okay, that musical aspect of you.
It did, right? It did. It's
Is
okay.
it still alive?
The musical part of me. So in school, when I was doing theater, you know, theater is especially when you're doing African theater, is all-encompassing. You cannot discuss African theater without music and dance. So I was always singing. I mean, I like to sing. So one day, my director said, everybody keep quiet. And he come bound. Everybody keep quiet. So he started asking us to sing one by one.
No.
When he got to my turn, Tomiwa, whenever they are singing, just mime. Don't
open
hear
your
your
mouth.
voice. So anytime they are singing, that's how I survived with that production.
And that killed that talent?
My brother, gone.
So you cannot sing. You cannot sing to save your life right now.
To save or to end the life. I don't partake in it. Anything that will cost me, that will indict me, I don't do such. Count me out, please.
Oh wow.
Or you are gonna learn. Oh my
Okay, Tamiwa, before we allow you go this morning, peradventure there are people, young people who are looking up to you today,
Yeah.
who are seeing you here. What would be that advice to them? Because again, it's not been rosy.
Yeah, you know, it's
Maybe we'll also need to let them know that, you know, to be fine boy like this, no be my job.
I fine. Wow.
Oh, why
Let me
did I
sit
say
well.
that now?
No. Please don't take it back. Hey, John. Mama, but
you're singing now.
If I continue second verse of that song, you don't know the song again. No.
Okay, what would be your advice to young people today?
Please do get education. It's very important to get education. And I'll tell you, as an event MC, most of the job that I get to do is because I never stop learning. It's very, very important for me to learn. I used to host a show on TV before, and I realized the amount of voluminous reading that an event MC must be capable of doing. Like I was saying earlier, today you could be hosting a gig for the convergence of lawyers, and you have to learn the terminologies and know what they're doing. The next time, it must be, it could be opticians, and you have to know. Sometimes it could be air, you know, it could be military. Your residual knowledge is what help you coast through. Sometimes just when you're hosting and you pull up something from your register and you become part of them. So you must read, you must get learning. It's very, very key. And also in this industry, you must make up your mind to be adaptable. You cannot be stuck. Otherwise, you may go out the way you came in, because things are constantly changing. Be ready to carry the load. You're your own marketer, you're your own promoter, you're your own business developer, you're your own manager, you're your own assistant, and you're going to come in contact with tools that you need to use. Don't become the talented guy who just, oh, and he's very talented. What happened to him?
Where is he?
You got to be able to use tools. The tools is what sets you apart from the talent. Talent is one thing, being marketable is one thing also. There are a lot of things that you usually will not, you can't talk to me like this outside. But your job is above and beyond the call of service. That's what Alibaba always say. You must be ready to serve. You're the MC, you must serve. Okay, when people know you for something that is good, run with it. You know, that's it.
So
That's
how
what I
rewarding
find.
is the industry?
It's as rewarding as
fast.
the work that you put. You got to learn to work smart. Okay, nobody will pay you what you're entitled to. People will pay you what you agree to. It's what you agree to. Whether you can, there are services that you render that people are earning millions for. If you say you want to earn 100 and people know you were worth $1 million, nobody will pay you that. Okay. They only pay you what you agree to. So there's no naivety. You know, you got to read the blue water. You know, it's a shark. Treat your business as shark. There's a small shark, eats the fish, but there's a bigger shark eating the other shark. If you treat it like that, it will be rewarding for you.
So is it rewarding for you?
Wow. So we're going to go on a break now.
Are you the anchor of the
We are not going
show?
on any break.
I'm the guest too. I'm the guest.
You want to take over the show?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen,
Really?
for watching the show today. It's been very informative talking to these two hosts. Very lovely conversation that we have had
When
today.
you were just asked
where
if he's been rewarding, you turned the table.
As I was saying,
Can you imagine?
When we return, je ne
Is it
pas,
rewarding?
Are you back in Jonah? Where are you in France?
Tu parles français? Ah, je suis.
Oh no. Tomiwa.
Je suis the rewards
as we
is
go
in heaven. Is
Yeah, are you a teacher?
We'll call you for a free show.
Free to you. I can see the rewards in it if he pays me.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you so much, Tomiwa
Thank you for having
Kukoyi,
me.
for
Thank
finding
you.
time to be
Thank
here
you.
on the program today. We appreciate your coming, and we do hope that sometime soon you can find time to be with us here again. Thank you for coming. We'll take a break. When the conversation returns, Joy and Ajibola. Did you see the look he gave me? Oh, please, Jibola, am I still alive? Like, am I dead?
You're alive.
Okay. The Lagos conversation will be here. I don't want to put Jibola on so that in case you don't see him, then you will come and ask me what's going on. The conversation continues after this break.